There is a serious problem affecting the health of millions of Americans. Let me illustrate with an example. In America, there are the most gym members in the world, but at the same time, it is in the top 10 most obese countries in the world. Japan, on the other hand, is ranked one of the lowest for people with obesity, and percentage-wise, they have much less gym goers. So why do Japanese people have such great health and longevity? I wanted to find the answer. So I did some research and I personally visited Japan just recently. I'm so excited to share my results with you today. If you find today's video insightful, please leave a like and subscribe for more to come soon. From data.worldobesity.org, we can see the ranking per country for obesity. At number 10 is the United States at 41.64. But what about Japan? They are ranked 161 at 7.63. What about longevity? Let's look at those rankings now. Japan comes in at number 2. Can you believe it? With the average life expectancy at 84.85. For women, it's 87.88, and for men, 81.83. For the United States, well, you may not be surprised to hear that they don't even fall in the top 10. Ranked at 48, the US average life expectancy is 79.46. For women, 81.98, and for men, only 77 years old, 77.05. But this doesn't happen by chance. There are environmental factors and individual conscious and mindful decisions that happen on a daily basis. So let's talk about some of these major topics I found that we can learn from the Japanese and implement into our daily lives to have more health and more longevity. Number 1, the food is fresh. In Japan, they don't eat a lot of added sugar, oils, or processed foods. From the sushi to the ramen, we could tell that the food was just incredibly fresh. It's real food made with real ingredients, and there's many places where you can see the chef actually cooking the food. There's no way that you'll see them opening up vegetables or soups from a can. Not preserved foods, it's so incredibly fresh. And of course, that makes the flavor so much better and more enjoyable to eat. So in Japan, the food is full of minerals, nutrients, and antioxidants. More to come on fish consumption later in this video. The desserts also tend to not be too sweet. They're less sweet with less added sugar, and also the portion sizes are not super ginormous. So I feel like that really helps when controlling how much you eat, and if you're very mindful about how much you want to eat sugar-wise, it helps having smaller portions, right? And one more thing I want to add about the fresh food is actually the oil part. So my wife and I have seen many of these short videos where when cooking Japanese food, they use this oil absorbing towel. And with this towel, while cooking, they can soak up the added oils or that fat that they don't want. And then there's also a towel, it may be the same towel actually, but once they have those fried foods all finished, they put it on the towel, which is like on a plate, and then that helps to soak up the oils as well. So I love that the people in Japan are very mindful of everything they eat. They want fresh ingredients, fresh food, and they don't want to consume too many added sugars and unhealthy oils. The next lesson that we can learn is that in Japan, there is much less consumption of fast food and soda. From worldpopulationreview.com, we can see that the USA is ranked number 1 in fast food consumption. Japan, on the other hand, comes in ranked at 17. But I want to add here that there are many fast food chains that my wife and I went to that had so many healthy options that are local fast food restaurants in Japan. 2 popular fast food chains in Japan are Matsuya and Yoshinoya. My wife and I went to both of these and found some of the most amazing, delicious foods. For example, we had this beef bowl, which was so fresh, which came with this miso soup. It was so healthy and tasty. Then we had this chicken curry rice. It was a little spicy, but had so much flavor, just so good. Let's look at a comparison for soda consumption from the US and Japan now. I had a hard time finding new data, so this is a little outdated, but it helps give us a good picture of what's going on. For the USA, it's per capita, 154 liters of soda consumption per year. Holy cow, that's a lot. And for Japan, it's only 30 liters per capita soda consumption per year. So we can see right off the bat that in the USA, there is so much more unhealthy soda drinking. Yes, there is the diet soda and the zero sugar, zero calorie options, but when it comes to regular soda consumption, it has so many calories and so much sugar, which leads to overconsumption of calories and therefore more fat, more obesity. So in Japan, you'll see that so many people are drinking tea, specifically green tea. And what's amazing is that it has so many health benefits. It's full of antioxidants to boost your immune system, may even lower blood pressure, and this one is crazy. Green tea may even help reduce the risk of some cancers and risk of cognitive decline. Okay, now friends, I want to talk to you more about seafood consumption. Let's look at a comparison between the USA and Japan. So Japan is in the top 5 countries for having the highest amount of fish consumption per year. And the USA, on the other hand, falls way far behind that. So eating more fish can help with eye, heart, brain health, and more. Plus, it tends to be a great source of protein, right? And protein is good for so many reasons, and also low in calories. So essentially, it fills you up, it has so many good things for your body, and it's lower in calories, which makes it easier to stay within your calorie limit for the day. And I've got to say, my wife and I absolutely loved the conveyor belt sushi. It was so good. There are so many varieties and options of fresh fish that you can choose from. We didn't go there just once during our stay. We went every day because it's so tasty and delicious. It's just really light. It doesn't feel like a very heavy meal, and my body just feels so good after eating it. Now let's talk about activity levels. As mentioned previously, the USA has the most gym goers in the world, with over 20% of the population having a gym membership. In Japan, only 5% of their population has a gym membership. So this begs the question then, why do the Japanese have less people with obesity rates? Yes, it comes down to what they eat and being mindful of that, but also it's their activity levels. It's not rocket science. It's just being active and walking more throughout the day. When my wife and I were in Japan, we saw so many people walking, and of all ages too, which was so cool to see. What's also awesome is that there are tons of parks, shrines, and temples that you can go visit. And it's a great way to get some more activity in, some more steps throughout your day. Some of the parks we went to, such as the Osaka Castle Park, were so big. It was honestly such a refreshing and wonderful time to take a peaceful stroll. You can take in the nature while also getting in your steps. It's such a wonderful experience. One more fun experience that I want to share is when we went to Nara. It's this beautiful Nara Park where there are free roaming deer. And it was so fun to see all of these deer around, to walk with them, and just to get that experience. Being outdoor in nature is something wonderful I love about Japan. And back when I was in the US, I would go to the gym, but at my daytime job, I would always be sitting down. And besides that, I would commute by car and just want to get as many steps in. So I think it's a good lesson for us to learn to get out more, go out in nature especially, and get in those steps, have more activity throughout the day. I hope you learned something useful from this video and that we can all learn some lessons from the Japanese to become more healthy, have more energy, and live longer too. Wishing you all health and prosperity. Catch you next video.